Welcome everybody to the Dave Knows Wrestling live stream. I'm your host, David Lee, and welcome to the Friday show. Glad to have you here and on board. Now, lots to go around today, because a lot of unhappiness apparently backstage WWE. A pay-per-view this weekend that I'm sure everybody's super excited for. Yay! And not to mention that there is a little bit of news on the New Japan AEW front, which has got people wondering what's going on. So let's see what your takes are on all these issues that have happened this week in the world of professional wrestling. And also, let's just start talking in general and get the show going, because you know how we like to do every week here. So, and also, let's just give everybody a little bit of time to jump on and get on board here. So we want to welcome everybody here. We want to give everybody a moment to catch up, and see what's going on in the big show. Yeah. I don't know why it's not letting me access this. All right, just give me a second. Okay. Let's see how everyone's doing. There we go. Happy Friday indeed. There we go. Rio Willis Jones. Hello, fella. AJ Envoy, what's up? Dave, look out for Harry Flynn. He's going to talk about why Nikki retired. Oh, I thought he was going to challenge me to another round of predictions for the pay-per-view. All right. Hey, happy Friday, my man. Jesus Ferro. You the man. Vinicius Teixeira. Hello, Master Teixeira. If I'm saying that right, and I hope I am. All I know is if you do it on this promo, just, we're fighting. I don't want to fight you, man. I don't want to give you a spanking. Give you a spanking, you'll be all red. Like Justina. Oh, red and swollen like Justina. Oh! Have you already talked about G1? I have not. I was looking to talk about that for sure. What's up, AJ2000? Raw Reflex, my man. By the way, Raw Reflex, thank you so much for having me on your radio show. It was a lot of fun being on the Chicagoland Sports Radio Show. It was a lot of fun. You guys, definitely check out Raw's show. Awesome show, and it was great. We had a blast talking about wrestling and a lot of fun. Also wrapping up talking about, the pizza and the hot dog are in Chicago, New York. But hey, not going to get into that, but it was a lot of fun being on your show, man. So thank you for having me on. I had a blast. And yeah, guys, everybody, you should definitely be listening to this show too. You can find it online if you're not in the Chicago area. All right, so IR Monkey, hello Dave. Do the Muscle Man dance. Nope. I don't think I know it off the top of my head either. Hey Dave, I am going to a Boston Red Sox game, as you have mentioned, on July 15th. I'm staying at a Boston hotel. Just know where you park your car, or whatever they say over there. See, it's like, well, some people say New York and Chicago have a rivalry. And New York and Philly have a rivalry. I have no beef with Chicago or Philly whatsoever. So I like the Chicago deep dish pizza. I don't think it's pizza, but I still like it. The hot dog thing, we've already talked about it. Philly, I don't think there's like a food thing between Philly. Because like Philly cheesesteaks, bow down. I know, you win. It's not an argument. There's cheesesteaks everywhere else, but a Philly cheesesteak you can only get in Philadelphia. No, bow down. I make no qualms about that argument. So I don't have any food thing with those cities that everyone kind of argues with. Hey, what's up, IR Monkey? What's goody, Dave? What's goody to you, random kids? 9,000. Oh, thank you as always. Why is Friday Brock Lesnar's favorite day? Is that like a tiff or a joke? I'm not sure. Let's talk about dumping grounds. Yeah, don't worry. I will. I will. I will. I wanted to see you look at sucked at you again. Oh, no. Hey, Harry Flynn. What's going on, my man? Keep it up. I'll wait for you to buy your car one day. I'm not worried, man, because I don't worry about you finding me because since you like her so much and think she's better looking than Alexa Bliss, you clearly have terrible eyesight, so I'm not worried about you coming to find me. Is the episode online? Raw? Go ahead and let everybody know about your show. Plug away. And where they can find more of you. Hey, Dave, New York City has the best pizza, and and hot dog. And is a hot dog a sandwich? I never thought about it as one till right now, but you're reminding me of an episode of Vsauce, which I thought was interesting. A hot dog or sandwich? I would say so. It doesn't sound right, but I would say so. And I'm going off of that because I consider a lobster roll to be a sandwich. And if a lobster roll counts as a sandwich, then I guess I have to make a hot dog one. I have to count the hot dog because you eat lobster roll in a hot dog bun. So I guess I would count it as such, but it don't feel right. And just so you know, the Vsauce episode I was talking about had to do with reduplication of words and language the way we use it. It's like he said, when you think about cereal, is cereal soup? Or is it like a salad? Is it a bunch of cereal bits floating around in the milk that's like the broth, that's the soup? Or is it like a salad and the milk is the dressing? And the reduplication part was when we say it's cereal, it's not, when you say cereal is like a soup, it's not soup. Well, that's reduplication. I don't think I'm saying that right, but yeah. But yes, it's using the word twice to try and add a specific connotation or an emphasis. It's like if I say, Baron Corbin, sure, he's a wrestler, but he's not a wrestler, Or that Justina is attractive, but she's not attractive. Sorry, man, it's just like right here. You make it so easy. Is pizza really better in New York? Absolutely. It absolutely is. That's just the way life goes. I know people who have moved here from outside of the area, and then it's like they thought they liked pizza, and then they came here and they're like, oh, no, I get it. What's up? What do you think about Avengers Endgame Extended Cut? I hope it takes down Avatar, because I don't think Avatar should be #1, highest grossing movie of all time. I think it should, I think it should be Star Wars, but, if it's going to be something else, I think at least it's going to be Endgame, but it shouldn't be Avatar. It was great to have you on the show. We will do it again. Nice. And when you're in town, come in. P.S. New York Frisbees aren't pizzas. Definition says otherwise. Friday is cash-in day. Oh, I see. Hey, peace to you as well, Muhammad. Is it me or has Alexa aged like 10 years? She looks like I don't think, not 10 years, alright? She's a little more mature, but she still looks perfect as always. Chicago has better pizza. What? Nico Montoya. They can't have better pizza because they don't have pizza. And first of all, I will say, you know what I also did? This was right outside of Chicago, so it wasn't exactly Chicago. But I had pizza, as in like flat pizza, right outside the city of Chicago. It was like right there, and I mean right outside. And I saw like, whoa, look at that. And I'm not picking on you guys, but it was seriously, and I'm not exaggerating either, it was the worst pizza I ever had in my life. Like the dough had no color to it. It was like pale white, and it tasted like awful. And it was like that too much sauce thing where the cheese just slides off, and also that tomato sauce wasn't. It was just awful. So I don't know if that was the plan. Like here, give you the flat stuff so terribly right outside the city limits. That way, you're just like begging for the deep dish when you come in. I don't know if that was a plan or not. This wouldn't be surprising, because that trick is something that has been done in food before, as in New England with Manhattan clam chowder. It was actually made in Rhode Island. Manhattan clam chowder is actually from Long Island. It's not from New York whatsoever. They made an inferior version. That way their version looks better. So, it's a sneaky trick, but people do it all a lot. Or Corbin. He's an easy target. I wouldn't go that far, AJ. Whoa. Hey, yo, Super Ermac. Hold on. I've lost the chat now that I've gone on my tangent. Hey, Dave, what are your thoughts on Shane McMahon's push and Fury in the locker room? Well, that was one of the topics I wanted to talk about today. Nikki Bella has a... Oh, no, that's terrible. I hope she gets better. Yeesh. Okay, hey, Dave. New York Pizza, Cincinnati Pizza. Cincinnati Pizza... Arthur, you just find the weirdest examples. But Cincinnati Pizza, I will say, it's its own thing. Like, it is a thing. Are you talking about Lockjaw? I never liked Avatar. I never saw Avatar. I never saw it. It might be phenomenal, but I missed it. Like I didn't know for some odd reason. I was just way behind on times because it had already been out for a while, and everybody said, "Oh, it's the best 3D in the world. It's so amazing." I'm like, "It's a what?" And then when I talked to people, everyone had seen it already, and they're like, "Oh yeah," and I was like, "Would you watch it again?" And they're like, "Oh no, it's not good enough to watch again. It's not a good movie. It's just crazy 3D." And I'm like, "Oh." And then it came out at home, and it's like, "Why the hell would I watch this?" And it's like, "Oh, you're not in the theater. It's not worth watching." And I'm like, "Oh, all right then." Everyone's just like, "Oh, it's like Fern Gully with really good 3D technology." And I was like, "Oh, all right." What are we talking about? Oh, jeez, man, this is getting an depressing chat. I'm just talking about people who are sick. It's livening us up a little bit. There's a rumor Inhumans might get a movie. If they do a total relaunch of the Inhumans, yes, because the last time was terrible. And I've been thinking about this lately. If they integrate a lot of in the MCU, a lot of the characters from the Netflix shows and like reboot them as well, I'll be okay with that. But I am gonna miss my girl Jessica Jones for sure because I really like what Kristen Ritter does with the character. I like that interpretation of Jessica Jones. I think she's really cool. I like her a lot. I do think I've seen the third season. Don't worry, I'm not going to spoil it. But see, you went to a suburb. That's not Chicago. No, I know it's not Chicago. I specify that. But yeah, it was. So that's not Chicago pizza, but that outside, and I mean, I was maybe 10 minutes outside the city limits. It was like Bach. Worst pizza ever was right outside this one storefront. I don't even know if it's still there anymore. I love pizza. We have hot dog carts out here, and they put onions, tomatoes, and cilantro on hot dogs. It's amazing. You know what's weird? In New York, there's like the red onions that they put on that they offer you on hot dogs, and I've never liked red onions. It's never been my thing, which is strange. Hey, Davey Boy Lee, how's me poor slam? Me poor slam is good. How's yours? Am I on a program? What? I'm now very hungry now, and I'm on a program. Oh, my bad. Okay. Yeah, being on a program does limit you. What's up? Thoughts on Arrow? I saw the first episode of Arrow and I fell asleep during it. Elmer repeatedly tried to get me to watch it. Like, hey, wake up, pay attention. Merlin's coming on. I'm like, huh? What? So I never got into the show. I saw Shazam yesterday. How'd you like it, Harry Flynn? You put cabbage on a hot dog. Cabbage is for coleslaw and corned beef. Whoa. First of all, cabbage is... Oh, yeah, okay, fine. Pencil thin hot dog. Whoa. I don't like cabbage on hot dogs. Okay, I'm not a sauerkraut kind of guy for hot dogs. I am chili and cheese and onion, mustard. That's what I put on hot dogs. You watch a movie made to be seen in 3D theaters at home and expected to enjoy it at home? I said I didn't watch it at home, Arthur. You're the dumb one because you don't pay attention. Arthur Pryor, a $20 super chat. My man! Thank you. Another $20 super chat. Thank you for your awesome generosity. You're the man. You're so generous. Definitely, I got to do more than just thank you because you're helping me out so much. And I cannot stress enough that it's an interesting time right now for me and YouTube. But yeah, but thank you, Jesus. Thank you so much. As always, thank you. Cannot specify this enough. It's like whenever this does happen, I was like, oh man, I got to keep up the pace for the YouTube channel. Nah, I'll just slack off, and it's like, oh no. Jesus reminded me I got to keep going. Keanu's Wolverine. I hope not. Yeah, so I didn't watch it in theaters, man. Yes, Harry Flynn. Yes, Shazam. I thought it was a good movie too. I liked it a lot myself. Thoughts on Marvel releasing Endgame with a post-credits? Yeah, I think that, as I mentioned, they're just trying to get more money to take that #1 spot. And guess what? They should, because why should advertise? Fine, I didn't see it, but yeah, let the movie that people seem to actually like more than the movie that they only like the 3D for. The first episode of Empire. Huh? I am completely lost. I realized yesterday R-Truth will be a Hall of Famer one day, and honestly, I don't know how I feel about that. Everybody's a Hall of Famer. Michael Cole will be a Hall of Famer. Whether you like it or not, as long as he doesn't wind up, doing a Chris Benoit or something like that nature, or anything like really egregious, Michael Cole will be put into the Hall of Fame. Wrap your brain around that. and realize the bar is set in a different direction. So one day, Michael Cole will be a Hall of Famer for sure. And there's now like a generation of kids that grew up knowing Michael Cole is the voice of WWE. And I don't think they're that attached to him, which is amazing. So when people say, oh, you just like JR because you're, sentimental reasons, because you're nostalgic, you're just clinging on to your youth. Well, then how come there aren't like 19-year-old kids now who care, how come there aren't like kids now who are like, oh, I just think of Michael Cole as the best announcer? Like, no one says that. Yeah, AJ Envoy, I agree with you. Hall of Fame means Jack. I fell asleep first episode of Empire. Oh, my bad. Okay, yeah. I never even gave it a shot. It looked interesting from the commercials, but I knew I was never going to watch it. The thoughts on Pennyworth, the show trailer, have you seen? I have not seen the trailer. The show I thought was a good idea because on the Comic Book Channel, I did an episode about Alfred because I think it's one of my earlier episodes on Alfred, but there's a lot of fascinating meat behind who Alfred is. And so I did an episode about that previously. I may have to revisit that for a Judge a Character episode. But either way, Alfred was always an interesting character, depending on you play it too. But then again, the same could be said about Gotham. I was very excited about the show. It's not exactly what I'm wanting. I've said it before, where it's like Batman. He's trained like Batman Begins, awesome. He trained with the Liam Neesons, and it was cool. But whereas, in the animated series, you saw Batman, whenever he talked about his training, he trained with, he trained, with magicians for sleight of hand, Zatara, and he trained, with samurai, and he trained, here or there. I want the Batman show where you get Bruce Wayne in his, early years, in his 20s, traveling around the globe. This week he's learning how to be a detective. This week he's learning how to be, a ninja. This week he's learning how to be, a escape artist, whatever. And just going around the world, and every season, every episode, it could be a different location. They used to make TV shows like that, like The Saint with Roger Moore. That show, when that was a show, every episode was like a different location, different exotic location. So if you mix The Saint with, martial arts training and magic stuff and acting, or making his facial disguises and detective work and all that stuff, that could be a really cool show. You could go on for seasons with just changing up the locale all the time. Would that be will be? I hope not. AJ 2000. So yeah, Michael Cole. See, Mark Pryor, you're just talking out your butt at this point. What the hell are we talking about here? Two times. Yeah, AJ, he might be, but I hope he isn't. But so I would love that show. As a guy who has grown up with Michael Cole, I've always found him annoying. Yeah, see, that's the thing. So when people say you only cling on, you only cling on to Kevin Conroy voices Batman because you grew up with it. Not so. We cling on because he's great, and also he also tweeted back to me. So on Twitter, on the Twitter machine. He actually responded to something I said, so there you go. So yeah, we like what is good. It's not that we like it because we're just stuck on it. We like something because it's good. And in case of Michael Cole, people aren't clinging on because, hey, there you go. So Arthur shows what you know. Are you watching Alexa's WWE 365 after Stomping Grounds? I didn't plan on it, but I can't say that I won't. Every time I see your hair, I'm jealous. Oh. Don't worry, buddy. Austin made a career out of it. The K-Trade Show, Monday nights, 7 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com and Facebook.com. I assume that's what FB means. / Chicagoland Sports Radio. You ever read Ultimate Moon Knight? Ultimates, I'll flat out admit, I've never been a big fan of the Ultimate line. I've dabbled or I've checked out a little bit here and there, but I've never really gotten into it. And Ultimate Moon Knight is definitely nowhere near as cool as OG Real Moon Knight. Dave, how do you feel about? Hey, Dave, do you do only super chats and? Huh? I don't only do super chats and is AEW going to be like WCW or TNA? Neither. Justina is better than JR. Well, all right, I think we agree on that one. Unless we're talking about commentary. I don't know how she does a commentary, but yeah. I miss Vince. I did like Vince McMahon as a commentator too. Was he over the top? Yes, but I actually liked him as a commentator. And I totally agree with you, Iron Monkey. He's like a guy I think doesn't get enough credit. Andy JT Aaron, my man. Harry Flynn, no, I really just enjoy taste reviews, and I consider YouTube to be like the new TV, and I really enjoy these. Thank you, Jesus. Awesome, thank you. I'm glad you do. Also, by the way, yeah, yeah, I'm not pulling in the numbers that I was. The Nielsen ratings, I thought that'd be an interesting episode. Yeah, it's doing all right. It's still growing, but I was like, you know, this is like certain things I expected are going to be like bomb when they blow up, and it's just like they do okay, and I'm like, okay, it's a rook. See, AJ 2000, I'm not sure about the Rockers because that requires Marty Jannetty going in, and he seems to be a holdout for it, and it looks like he doesn't want to go in, and they're not going to induct a tag team unless he wants to. I mean, they could, you know, that's kind of hard. That's kind of hard thing to do. In his tag team with Cena. He's not going in with his tag team with Cena. Don't be ridiculous. Mauro Ranallo tweeted back at me. Awesome. Mauro is the man. You ever read Emperor Joker comic book? I have it as a graphic novel under my collection. So yes, I did. I love that Emperor. But I'm a huge Jeff Loeb fan, and I also like Ed McGuinness too. So yeah. So just throwing that out there. The Attitude Era is. Oh, somebody used the O word, and I think WCW is unfairly judged. It seems people judge it for what happened in 2000. Real Willis Jones, I agree with that for sure. I also think that's the same thing about Dusty booking. A lot of people criticize Dusty booking. Meanwhile, people ignore that he booked for a long period of time and did really well at it. But yeah, I do think people unfairly judge WCW on the end of its run. I also think it's weird that people keep thinking that WCW went bankrupt. It's a common misconception the way people talk about it. Everyone forgets that WCW was sold. It didn't go bankrupt. They were sold. There's a difference. And a lot of people are saying that, well, it almost went bankrupt or was close. Well, so was WWF. So what are you getting at? Close don't mean nothing, except for in horseshoes and hand grenades. Corey Guerrero deserves a Hall of Fame. Oh, absolutely. Believe me. If I could do a professional wrestling, the weird thing is WWE picks and chooses whether they're a wrestling Hall of Fame or a WWE Hall of Fame. But there are plenty of guys. Harry Flynn, no, he wasn't. That doesn't count. No one counts that. There are plenty of guys outside of WWE that deserve a place, but because WWE wants it to be more bright of a ceremony, they tend to induct people who are mostly still alive. So there are a lot of people who aren't around who definitely have a place in. I'm not including, but there's also people who are alive now, and WWE may not have the best relationship with them, so they don't talk about them as much, or they don't put them in as well as they do. So it's like, there's plenty of people. So it's really like, if you want to put them in for Wrestling Merit, you should put them in for Wrestling Merit. But there's a lot of people that WWE just doesn't put in because of how WWE personally feels about them. Whether it's political or whether it's just because of happiness or whatever. David Benoit, Chris Benoit's son, follows me on Instagram. But WWE picks and chooses which guys they put in. Like Toots Munn should definitely be in. Todd Gordon, regardless of how you feel about Todd Gordon, he should be in. Dick Ebersol should be in. I'm kind of surprised Dick Ebersol isn't, actually, telling you the truth. But there's a lot of guys that WWE just doesn't put in because maybe they're not as glamorous. Maybe they don't bring in the numbers. Maybe they're not around anymore. Maybe they're mad at them. Maybe it's whatever. Maybe not enough people remember them. Who knows? But there's a lot of people that need to get brought in that should have been in a long time ago. So, Muhammad's not a Scott Steiner fan. I hear you. Adrian Lawrence is rated. How is it? See, yeah. That's how you start. See, yeah, the O word revs everybody up. If the stories are true and I was Vince, I'd go give Sasha the Revival Luke their releases. Told the roster if you want to leave, buy and put. What? I'm going to heal like the Batman Who Laughs on the show. Nice. Batman Who Laughs. Good book. Good read. Will the Shield get in the Hall of Fame? Oh yeah. I mean, when Dean comes back, because everybody comes back. Maybe that'll change if Vince is out of the picture, but everybody comes back. Everybody comes back. They said the Ultimate Warrior would never come back. He came back. Everybody comes back in. WWE signed Ebenezer Olembe. Okay. Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Yes. Didn't I just say that? Speaking of Loeb, I bought Superman all season last weekend. Jeff Loeb, great writer, man. It's like I just love writing comic books. I love Jeff Loeb. His work is always I just always am good for it. It's like Loeb is the guy I write to tell a great story. I know people give him issues about certain give him flack about certain comics he ran, but I don't think that's his fault. I think when you have an established universe and you're trying to make a big to do, or you're trying to save it, I think you're bringing Jeff Johns. But if you want somebody if you're looking to get someone to fix something, that's when you're bringing Jeff Johns. If you're looking for somebody to utilize something to its best possible potential, that's where you use Jeff Loeb. That's just what I think. Coco Beware follows you. Nice. It's all subjective. That is true. I was simply stating an opinion. Yes, because it's all subjective. Exactly. Civility shall reign again. Let me get my should be in Hall of Fame. They composed several soundtracks. Yep, that's a good point. Lemmy. Everybody likes Lemmy. Yeah, and Triple H loves Lemmy, so yeah. Randy Savage never came back. Ouch, but he was in the Hall of Fame. I mean, and plus, a lot of people said he was probably going to. I think that was just timing not working out rather than he just didn't come. Because there's lots of evidence to suggest they were showing. Bret Hart came back. Come on. Hulk Hogan has come back numerous times. Yeah, no, Roberto Soto. I got you that you're talking about Motorhead. This way, because last time I checked, that's, as I said, I think it's Triple H's favorite band. I don't know if he just said that to be nice or if he really meant it, but I think it's his favorite band. Ron Killian should be in a real Hall of Fame for his overall career, but shouldn't be in I understand. Super Chat from Nuke Din MGT. Thank you. And your new Super Junior Heavyweight Intergender 6-person Hardcore 24/7 Tag Team Champions of the World, Nuke. What'd it do? Nice. Thank you for the Super Chat, and I think that's a very cool way to introduce you. So I like you phrasing it that way. So thank you, Nuke. Will the Nexus ever be inducted into the Hall of Fame? Maybe. That's a tough one. That's a good call because it could go either way on that one. I'm going out for a while, so see you guys. If you're still on, I'll rejoin. Hey, Muhammad, enjoy your time. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, appreciation from Jesus and from me. Super Chat brothers. Nuke Nin and Jesus. Thank you. Went a long way there, didn't you, Nuke Nin? Hey, you earned it. You should know a lot about comic books. I'm not that familiar with a lot of comic books, but can you explain the Bizarro universe? Okay, Bizarro Superman the Bizarro case is an interesting one because when the Bizarro character was first brought out, his origin was completely different. So there was different origins over and over again, or for how Bizarro came about. Sometimes he's a clone, sometimes he's from an alternate dimension. How does he speak? Sometimes he speaks in reverse, but that can confuse people. So if he wanted to say I'm going to the store, he would say I am not going to the store, or stuff like that, and that would confuse certain things. So there's been tons and tons of different interpretations, and use like, ooh, maybe I need to tackle him for a judge of character. There have been tons of different interpretations on what Bizarro actually is. However, one of them is there is a Bizarro universe where things are the opposite. There's a Bizarro Batman, a Bizarro Superman, a Bizarro everybody, and that's how things work out. So, furthermore, it has also been stated that, and also sometimes it's because of Mr. Mixoplex. I know that's not the way everyone says his name. Did an episode on how to pronounce his name, and I stated that's what I call him, and I'm sticking to it. So Mixoplex is kind of responsible for creating this alternate universe because he just likes it, and he says, hey, let's have a Bizarro Batman, let's have a Bizarro this, let's have a Bizarro that, because he likes it, and he has the power to do so, and he just finds it funny. So, yeah, but thank you. Yeah, maybe I have to tackle this a little bit deeper in the comic book channel, but good question. Will Asuka ever get a push? Yeah! When she leaves WWE? No, maybe. I don't know. It's not looking likely. I don't think it will. In the WWE, I don't think she's going to get one in the main roster, but perhaps she will. Can't say no. Is NWO Hall of Fame? Absolutely the NWO are Hall of Famers. The best matches will go Broadway, Arthur. Okay. Will Sami Zayn ever win a belt in WWE? I'm wondering what they're doing to him. Is he like supposed to be the new Jerry Lawler where he's just never going to pick up a strap in WWE? Never he should sign with AEW. World's most Attitude Era marks will be bored pre that era and the 90s. I don't think so. Because here's for me, it's like most Attitude Era marks I think were it appealed to an older demographic, so it was people my age and older who liked the Attitude Era, and in that case, they were kids during the '80s when wrestling was kind of catering to people my age in the '80s with Hulkamania and all that stuff. They were aiming at people my age. So when it came, so remember we were first introduced to wrestling in the '80s and beforehand and the '70s. So it's kind of just what we know originally. The Attitude Era was the second, or third major wave, depending on how you calculate waves. But it was a later thing. So I don't think so because I know I'm not, but that I don't think that is necessarily so. Alexa Bliss is a bizarro Christy Hemme. No, one was talented. Christy Hemme was talented. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Pretty nice to be around, and the other was Alexa. You wish you were around Alexa, and also, and you also forgot that one was a beautiful, pretty girl, and the other is Christy Hemme. Redheads are evil. Dave, we used to describe the Elseworlds crisis on Infinite Earth Comics. Okay, that's a little more loaded, but you need to put, and for the record, I have personal, never mind, I'm not going to bring that up. Stress Elseworlds Comics on Infinite, that's going to take a long time to talk about. Elseworlds is interesting because they're kind of like Marvel's answer, DC's answer to What Ifs. The Infinite Earth concept though is pretty good. It's complicated, but it's for the quick easy answer to it is it's just DC's way of exploring what ifs. It's the easiest way to put it. Hey Dave, what is your favorite WWE theme song of all time eras? All time era. It's hard because I really do think Kristen Ritter talked about Jessica Jones, director, and in close real life, and they will end the show with a third season. Well, the third season just came out, and I finished it already. It was pretty good, and if they end the show there, I'm fine with it. It's weird because I really like the songs I really like are now, but I try to think. I'm like, do I just like them because I'm hearing them now, or do I really like them? Like Bobby Roode and Nakamura, two of my favorite themes there are right now, but I almost think I like them more than any song ever. I did like Sami Zayn's a lot. Jericho had a pretty good one. It's tough. It's a tough call. Really not sure on it. Booker T's is a theme. I like Goldberg. Oh, by the way, Matt Riddle throwing heat at Goldberg, and I love it. Would Minoru Suzuki on G1? Would you put Minoru Suzuki on G1? Who would you replace? No, G1's a little stacked. It is. I think the roster's a little smaller than I like it to be, but that's just me. You watch Brutal? No, I have not watched any of the Dark Side of the Rings. I've been told constantly I need to watch them, but just don't have the time. Dude, they want another $5 super chat. What match so far has Dave Knows Wrestling Match of the Year award? Right now, it's Dustin and Cody Rhodes. It's still my favorite match of the year so far. You saw my answer to Cody Omega's question. I did not. Christy Hemme was talented at the Arthur just likes stirring a pot. I don't believe that any human being with functional brain cells and all of the chromosomes necessary to be a human actually thinks the things that Arthur says. Dave, name a Marvel character no one knows. It has to be really, really scary. Well, I don't think there's a character that absolutely no one knows, but does anyone remember the character of Solo? His favorite is the X Factor's theme. Ugh! Follow me, alright. As a 50-plus-year-old and pre-Attitude Era, I like the edginess of the Attitude Era, but was annoyed by the overtop, silly, and insulting storylines. And yeah, a lot of people feel that way. I don't argue that for a minute. I can understand, dude, they hold on to good talent far back too many times. Yes, they do. But Newton, what is your match of the year so far? I'm talking about what's up? What's up, indeed? Mine is Dunn versus Volta. NXT TakeOver New York. I was there live. What are we talking about? Right now, just random stuff. I did tech. Oh yeah, so well, yeah, there are a couple of things I did want to talk about. So the Matt Riddle thing in Goldberg, in case you don't know, yeah, Matt Riddle said he was never a fan of Goldberg and the guy's dangerous. And when they said, "Hey, you think you're going to get in trouble for saying that?" He said, "Hey, they hired me because they know I'm going to be honest. I told them this is what they're getting." So that's pretty. So I thought that was pretty cool. Jesus Sparrow agree. Who do you see turning heel or face at Stomping Grounds? Oh, this is a question. I mean, I don't think anybody off the top of my head because I haven't. I've written this off as a nothing pay per view. I don't like Shinsuke Nakamura's current. Oh, I don't like his current theme, but I mean his old one. But yeah, we'll be getting to Stomping Grounds predictions in a little bit. But yeah, I also want to talk about, hey, if you guys have heard the news, Dean Ambrose was apparently restricted from being on a G1, being in G1 in Dallas because AEW doesn't want him doing any American dates with New Japan or any American. So, what do you guys think about that? It's Goldberg versus Undertaker dream match. Yeah, AJ 2000, hard to top that. Match of the year is Gargano versus Cole 2. That's a pretty good one. Yeah, Dustin and Cody is mine. For now. Mine is Omega versus Takahashi. I get that. I think it's really... No, I understand that. I think that's a good call. I chose Nikki Bella, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch. Oh, Jay Lethal versus Matt Taven at Ring of Honor 17th anniversary. Okay, all right. Surprised Matt Taven got on there. Takagi versus Ospreay. Now I thought a lot more people would say that. I thought that was something that would come up a little more often. Do you think is an obscure Attitude Era wrestling or R-Truth aggression era wrestler who can have a good modern day run in WWE? Well, that's far. So who's the new PCO? WWE's PCO? Somebody who can have a good run now from like approximately 2 decades ago. That's a good question. So yeah, but what do you guys think about the New Japan AEW thing? Because they said that they're not working together, but yet they are working together, and at the same time they're also not working together. So what do you think about this friction that's between these guys? AEW Fyter Fest show is going to be better than WWE Stomping Grounds. Well, that is very, very, very true. They have thoughts on Nikki Bella news that she had to retire? Yeah, well, that's sad for sure. And wishing her the best. What is the one? I'm trying to think. Trying to think of somebody spry enough that they could still go. Did Charlie Haas retire? Because Shelton Benjamin probably would have been my answer, except he's here now. And we're saying that that's clearly not true. But I was a big Charlie Haas fan too, but I don't know what he's up to lately. Because doing independent stuff and seeing things, there's a lot of guys I actually see who are still active and competitive, and you're like, man, this guy can still go, still, so quicker than a hiccup and still built like they're made out of stone. So I'm trying to think of guys like that I know I've seen like recently. Who are still in good shape. I've seen Rikishi someone recently. I'm not sure if he can still go, but last I checked, he looked good. Would someone like Rhino work in the 2020s? Not really. Dream versus Tyler Breeze is a close match of the year. Well, I wanted Velveteen Dream and Goldust, and I'm not getting it on that. Being the first match any suggestion, guys? Nuke and MGT being the first match in an AEW ring, as well as being a portrayal of a brand new, fresh talent. Roderick Strong versus Riddle was great. Yeah, that was definitely good too. Do you think Liv will debut on SmackDown like Chad Gable did with a new look? It's a backstage segment. As long as she's blonde, I'll be happy. I know that's not your question, but that's as much as I can say. I'm not sure. Even though I don't like Matt Riddle much, Dream versus Riddle was a good match. Yeah, it was a good match. And yeah, I've been hearing a lot of people saying they don't really care for Riddle. I do. I mean, I wish he put on shoes, but other than that, I do like Matt Riddle. But I hear a lot of people not being a fan of him, and I get why. I'm not like a strong fan of him. I like when people say, "Oh, I don't like this about him. I don't like that about him." I kind of go, "Yeah, that's true." I don't like that he doesn't wear shoes. Yeah, like I can't defend it. Even Melina could have a run, in my opinion. That's not a bad answer. That's a good one. Hey, discovered your channel, and I love it. But my question is, who do you think will win G1 this year? It's a quick question. I don't know because, like last year, I was feeling it early. I think I need to let it the tournament to feel like I can't just pick off the list, but I think I need to feel it out last year because you guys remember I correctly predicted Tanahashi taking it down for because I kind of saw it coming. But last year I thought the narrative of the booking spoke for itself. So with last year's G1, before knowing what was going to happen with Kenny Omega and everything like that, I said Kenny Omega finally vanquished or defeated Okada. Finally took down Okada. So how do we add legitimacy to his reign? Well, Okada made it big because of his matches with Tanahashi. Tanahashi was a great way to help get Okada over. So the logical formula is Kenny Omega now. Here's Tanahashi. Here's your next chapter after Okada. It was a perfect build. So it just made a lot of sense to me. And Tanahashi has put on his times. He deserved to be one of those guys to collect another G1 win. He definitely deserved that win for sure. I think he did. And having a Wrestle Kingdom main event, he deserved all of it. So everything made sense. This year, not so much. Okada's got there. Could I see Jay White winning it? I could. I don't think he will. I don't think Dean has any chance, nor should he. Yeah, it's a tough call. Yeah, it's a tough call right now. I think I'm going to have to wait a little more until it goes. I don't think Moxley will win. I really don't. I think his AEW commitments will keep him from winning, just on a logistic level. Kota Ibushi's not bad. Not bad. Where's the other guy? What other guy? Albert? Albert's around on Mondays. Ibushi's not a bad chance. Jay White, it'd be a nice way to rebound Jay White after he took the ultimate sacrifice of being like the super hated guy just to put Okada over in America and making sure that Okada gets the grand return to the championship, especially after Kenny Omega, threw off their plans for G1 in New York. But the G1 Supercard show. That's what I meant to say, in case you were wondering. You're ignoring IR Monkey, but IR Monkey's awesome. Sarah Logan was trying to fix her face. Dana hasn't been right since she left Titus World Slide. I mean, why? Kota Ibushi versus Jay White will be the G1 finale. I could see that, Roberto. That's not a far-off statement. Should jobber matches return? I have a video about that, and yes. Oh, and by the way, welcome to the channel. Everybody who's here now. Arthur can't speak English, maybe because I'm right. That's very true. He does struggle with that, and it's probably because you were right. All right, so let's go. Okay, so we talked about Dean Ambrose AEW because while they have a tentative relationship together and they say they're not really working together, it does show that they are. I mean, New Japan got robbed of a lot of their top talent, and the Bullet Club has never been the same since and probably can never be the same again. But this all comes down to AEW guys leaving the company, and some could say that New Japan's right for being a little sore about it, and some would say, hey, AEW guys felt that they weren't being treated right over there, so they decided to start their own thing. Who's right? Who knows? But they've said that they don't really want to work together, especially because New Japan has a relationship with other promotions that also may not be the most AEW friendly. So what do you do in that case? So they say they're not working together. However, we've been seeing things like Jericho and Dean Ambrose currently holding on to their U.S. belt. We see a lot of these guys from AEW that we know are with AEW appearing in New Japan. So it seems like they're working together anyway, but maybe there's a limitation to how they work. And is this a good idea? Would you rather AEW guys just not go there if they can't, if you know there's a ceiling to how far they can go, or do you think this is perfectly fine its way to go? Adam West was the best Batman. I always wanted to know if Adam West was could be born later, and we got Adam West during the no one time period, what a guy like that could have done, because he did have a lot of he did have a good look to him, what we could have done with Batman then. Okay, so where do you think Scarlett Bordeaux is going? I'm not sure. It's a good question. Do you agree with gatekeeping and rumors? What? Who are they? I challenge you to something. I knew it, Harry! Before you came on, I said that was going to happen. And yes, challenge accepted. What match from G1 are you excited for the most? I am, and I'm not there yet, but I am excited right now. While I don't think he's going to win, I am excited to see what happens with Jon Moxley. Like, I do want to see how they play him in G1. I do want to see where his character goes. That's what I'm more curious about than anything else. So it's not even like a particular match. It's his matches that I just want to see. I prefer Bullet Club with Jay White than Bullet Club with Kenny Omega. Really? Kenny screwed the stable and made it look like a joke. With Jay White, it feels like the earliest. I feel you on that, but the oomph behind the stable to me is gone. And just something you can't get back. But I feel that way after the Kenny and Cody split. New Japan is going to be a dominant force in USA. Hopefully. But no matter what happens with New Japan in America, we can say this one thing. That the first time, and as of now the only time, that the IWGP Heavyweight Championship has ever changed hands in America, I was there live, so we can just make sure we know that. Okay, so yeah, let's go on to Stomping Grounds predictions. As Harry said, because we talked about Matt Riddle, we talked about the Dean Ambrose thing. Oh, yeah, and also I meant to say this. A lot of rumors are that a lot of talent is on. Before we get into the predictions, rumor is that a lot of talent is unhappy in WWE. They're mad about the Shane push because Shane's getting an ultra push. A lot of people are predicting this is going to lead to Shane winning the title. Now, something I do feel the need to point out, though, that not everybody knows about, was that there have been repeated signs that say that Shane is a money draw. Believe it or not. For example, his WrestleMania 32 match with The Undertaker. Sales were not necessarily doing great or not as high as they would have liked it to be, or they were just moderate, however you want to cut that. But then when the Undertaker match was announced with Shane, all of a sudden sales started to rise. And this pattern of ticket sales going higher when Shane is around, or as soon as Shane's matches get booked, seemed to be a consistent pattern, which has led people to believe that Shane is a money draw. However, from Stomping Grounds right now, way low, and he's on the card. So that it apparently has its limitations. But with that being said, let's say you're Vince McMahon, and you see that your son, every time he gets a match, or several times when he gets a match, ticket sales go up. There's enough to indicate that he is a draw. Is this WWE doing typical nepotism like they do with Stephanie and Triple H? Perhaps. But there is a leg to stand on, saying that there is the possibility that there is more to it than just that. I'm not defending him, by the way. But Shane is also not really a wrestler. We need to remember that. And that kind of throws things off. With the Smarts getting worked up and moaning, okay, I don't know what's going on. If you could book the Briscoes versus the Usos, I would. Like we talked about on the show, how would you have the match end? Who wins and how? For me, the Briscoes. It comes down to what goes up must come down. Briscoes will take them down to the mat for sure because they're down dirty and have no problem with it, while the Usos, they could take this guy one too many times, high risk, equals high reward, but also sometimes big failure. And that's what I would do, that the Usos will be taking this guy a little too much and that the Briscoes are just going to catch him. I predict I will not watch. All right, a lot of people not even watching, not even bothering for Super Showdown Round 2. This is a doorway for CM Punk. Just watch. Perhaps. You were there when New Japan title changed hands in the USA for the first time? Gee, we hadn't heard. Oh! By the way, the first time the IWGP Heavyweight Championship has ever changed hands in America, I was there. I will never not be proud of that fact. I am going to say it over and over and over again. Perhaps me profess too much, but you know what? Still true. Seth Rollins versus Roderick Strong in a WWE Dream match. Hey, pretty good. I'm a big Roderick Strong fan too. He was a draw, but they milked it too much. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that for sure. And I think to a limit. But I also don't think his WrestleMania match with the Undertaker was. I think there's a possibility that the Undertaker did, or that's just when they announce his matches. That's just around the right time. But it was apparently a phenomenon that was enough that people didn't view it as necessarily coincidental. And when let's pretend he's not Shane McMahon. If you had a wrestler like that, pushing him and giving them strap does make some sense. However, putting it back into the equation, it's still Shane McMahon. I would never book him in this situation, no matter how much money he's drawing. I would not put him in this situation. Do I think he's getting the world title? I still don't think so, only because I don't think I'm living in that world. I'll be very surprised by it because I just can't wrap my head around it. He's a tough guy. I'm a big Shane fan. Is too much too much? Yes, too much is too much. You know. So, no, I do not know Jervis Cottonbelly. Seth and Roderick strong promo-wise would be... Yeah, it'd be a rough promo. No way. Shawn Michaels isn't better than anybody. Yeah, so I just refuse to think that. Is there wrestlers backstage who are upset about this? It seems that there's always wrestlers backstage upset about something. Whether they are or not, who knows? But I wouldn't blame them if they were. Boy, Punk's pop alone when and if he comes back would be insane. It would be. Hey, Nasty Nate. AEW should get Funko Savage World to make their action figures. Shane best match scenes coming back to WrestleMania 33 with AJ. And no, AJ does not carry him. My favorite Shane McMahon match is going to be the 2002 King of the Ring with Kurt Angle. Don't get me wrong, in case I haven't said this enough. The match against The Undertaker at WrestleMania, I did see that live as well. I don't know about the match, but I was seeing Shane jump off of the snow will be something I will always remember. So part of me does want to say that just for personal reasons, but I will say it's the Kurt Angle match. Hey Dave, do you see AEW signing Scarlett Bordeaux? I could see it being a possibility. What are your thoughts on that since Scarlett Bordeaux got released by Impact Wrestling? I do think this is a possibility. I would prefer it. Don't get me, hey, I would like to see her in NXT too, but I would prefer if she went to AEW. I hope WWE takes the belts off all the indie NXT darlings except Kofi Kingston and Sami Grants. Kofi's not an indie darling, if that's what you're saying. But, okay, yeah, hope all the champs lose the belts. Okay, IPW is streaming right now. IPW is streaming right now. My favorite Shane McMahon match is Shane McMahon versus Hulk. All right, so now we talked about the controversy backstage. We talked about Matt Riddle. We talked about Dean Ambrose. So, yes, now let's finally move on to the next portion of the show. I did a whole episode about MLW. I watched a little bit of Lucha Underground. I couldn't really get into it personally. I didn't give it enough of a shake, and I would like to try again, but I saw a couple episodes, and I'm like, all right. But it wasn't enough to hold my attention. But maybe I have to just give it a little more shot. Okay, so do Jericho on his promo. All right, so but let's wrap this up. I got something brewing here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the Battlegrounds predictions. So what I'm looking at, which I think is interesting, I don't see anything scheduled for the pre-show, so there's got to be something weird about that. But let's just go. Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan, the champion, versus Heavy Machinery, Otis and Tucker, and Harry Flynn. Challenge accepted on the predictions, in case you didn't hear me. And Harry Flynn also has a great YouTube channel, and he likes to do his predictions on that channel too. So, hey, give Harry Flynn a shot. All right, so Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan, the champions, versus Heavy Machinery. Where do I think this is going? Well, Heavy Machinery has come a long way from NXT. They've been on the main roster for quite some time now, and out of all the recent calls, I think they might be making some of the most headway aside from Lacey Evans. But on the male side of things, I think they've made a lot more. I think they've gotten more attention than EC3 has. But I don't think they're quite ready yet. I think Daniel Bryan and Rowan are going to hold on the belt a little longer, especially because what do you do with Daniel Bryan at this point? Giving him and Rowan the tag straps is a good use of him for now. But yes, so I got Bryan and Rowan as well. Wolf and Token, Heavy Machinery are my pick. Okay, Daniel and Eric are winning. Okay, Turkey. They should bring back the Mean Street Posse. I am down for that. Awesome, Nessie Nate. I am totally down for that. But yeah, my prediction is champions will be retaining Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan. All right. I thought it was interesting you referred them by their first names. Okay, so the kayfabe first names. Okay, so next up, Tony Nese, the champion, versus Akira Tozawa versus Drew Gulak in a triple threat match for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. Who do I got my money on now? Well, Akira Tozawa has been in there for a while, making some good grounds. Drew Gulak, also, same thing. Not showing enough love in the Cruiserweight division by some. Or at least that's what they would say. At least some people would say that. They'd be, well, oh, IR Monkey, have a good one. Have a good weekend. Peace to you as well. And have a Friday drinking crew. Nice. But Drew Gulak, relatively fresh champion. Where could this go? My prediction? Drew Gulak retains the championship. Yeah, so Harry Flynn's got Gulak as well. So does Arthur Pryor. Nice, nice, nice. I like all you guys mentioning it. So yeah, by all means, shout out who you think is going to win. So yes, I think Cruiserweight champion Tony Nese will retain. Next up, New Day! Big E and Xavier Woods versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. The best friends, still best friends again, still tag team. All right, so Big E was on the shelf on the DL for a little bit. Finally, we getting Big E back. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, hey, both of them were on the shelf for a while beforehand, but not exactly the same thing. So we got KO and we got Sami Zayn back together again, and we got the New Day. Now, I think this is going to be a fun match. I really do. But who is going to win between these two? Even though there's no title on the line, I think this is going to be a pretty satisfying, a surprisingly satisfying match. Harry Flynn has KO and Sami. Number one contendership, top guys at 205 Live. It was 24/7. IHOP will win. New Day tension starts. Sami and Kevin win. Ooh, Arthur is predicting the ascension of the ranks for the New Day. Now, when you asked about who is going to turn heel, there is some speculation that New Day will be breaking up or at some point in time, and that Big E turn heel. Well, that's a possibility. I don't see it coming. At least not yet, because I think if Big E does turn heel, or Woods turns heel, they would have to do it against Kofi since he's the champion. That would have to come into it. I really don't want this to happen. I cannot stress enough how much I do not want any members of the New Day turning heel or breaking up the band. But if it was going to happen, I don't think it would happen like this. I think Kofi would have to be involved. Furthermore to that, a lot of the actions we've seen have not suggested that they would. Woods helping out Kofi to give him the match that's going to happen later on during Without Being Around. Maybe that will be Kofi's fodder for it. You know, maybe they're going to say, we were trying to help you and you don't appreciate it. They could do that, but I don't think this is going to be a heel turn right now. However, who do I think is going to win, KO and Sami or the New Day? I'm going with New Day! The reason why is because as Big E is returning, I think it will be good for him to get this win as he's back. They'll never break up the New Day. I hope not. Okay, so next up we have Samoa Joe versus Ricochet for the United States Championship. Samoa Joe being the champion. Now, who's it going to be? Ricochet or Samoa Joe? Interesting. Steen and El Generico, what do they have to do with this? El Generico's off somewhere else. So, what are we going to do? Harry Flynn says Joe. Ricochet says Vinny Montana. Ricochet says Suplex City. Okay, Big Mo-ethadon. Big Mo says Samoa Joe. Okay, seems pretty slight. I heard will debut at Stomping Grounds, but I don't think new character will translate in the ring. Well, can't wait to find out. Okay, so yeah, I seem fairly split on this one, and I think it's a good point. Because Ricochet, people have complained that he's been kind of in 50-50 holding pattern for his booking as of late, and I think he's great. But he needs to move on to the next level. Samoa Joe, on the other hand, people have been clamoring forever for him to get a title, and he finally has one on the main roster. So it seems, and they already took it off of him once, and he just got it back. So out of these two, where do you think they go? Both of them have leg claim, but one of them finally got there. So who is going to be the champion when it's all said and done? Who's going to have that U.S. strap? This is a close call. This is probably the hardest call there is for this pay-per-view. But for me, I will say Samoa Joe. The reason I'm picking Samoa Joe is because, A, like I said, they put the belt right back on him after losing it to Rey Mysterio. I think they want to hold on to him a little bit more so they don't get repetitive to it. Ricochet is also new to the dance. I think this is the beginning of a long feud. Now, this feud, or at least a repeating feud. And I think Ricochet might eventually take it off of him, but I don't think it's quite here yet. I think this will go back and forth a little bit. I also wouldn't be surprised if they hold off on Ricochet winning the U.S. strap, so that way he could go after the Intercontinental, which I think he's a little bit more fit for. So I think they still have a little more work to do with Samoa Joe with this belt, and I think Ricochet might be able to survive it a little bit more if he loses than Joe can. Why are you acting so nervous? Is the mom? No, I got some. I have to help somebody with something, so I'm just trying to run through it really fast. And yeah, so duty calls. Joe is going to win. Yeah, that's kind of where I am. All right, next up, Kofi Kingston, the champion, versus Dolph Ziggler. Steel cage match. Now, I'm not a big steel cage kind of guy. Yeah, call out your predictions for the WWE Championship. So, Warhol Rambo, what's going on? I'm thinking DQ. Good possibility. What the hell won't WWE have Kevin Owens versus Samoa Joe? Promos alone would be worth it. They absolutely would be. Don't turn either face. Fine. Although I didn't want to see Kevin Owens as the working man babyface, but yeah. So anyway, Kofi Kingston and the champion versus Dolph Ziggler in a steel cage match. Where are we at, guys? For me, I'm pretty sure, now this is a fairly open and shut case, I think, Kofi Kingston retains the title. Dolph Ziggler, they paraded him out. They just brought him out for now. I don't think he has any chance of winning this title. He's just a nice stepping stone on Kofi's way. I don't think Kofi Kingston's holding on the belt for very long. And I'm not sure how much longer he will, but I could be wrong about that too. But if someone's going to take it off him, I don't think it's going to be Dolph. Next, for the WWE Universal Championship, it's Seth Rollins, the champion, versus Baron Corbin, with a special guest referee yet to be announced. Who could it be now? Well, I think special guest referee is going to be Brock and or Heyman. That's what I personally think. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see Baron Corbin about to get the win with Brock's interference and says, yeah, all right, Brock, and then Brock just screws him over, like doesn't count or whatever, and then Baron says, like, hey, wait a minute, I thought you were on my side. And Brock's like, no, why would I be on your side? And demolishes him too. That's kind of what I see coming. I think Seth will retain the championship. That's my personal thoughts on it because A, I want it to happen. B, Baron Corbin. C, Baron Corbin. So again, this is another easy one for me that I'm pretty sure Seth Rollins is retaining the championship because it ain't going to be Baron. Next up, Becky Lynch, the champion, versus Lacey Evans for the WWE Raw's Women's Championship. Again, a fairly open and shut case for me. Becky Lynch retaining the championship against Lacey Evans. That's how I see this match going down. Lacey Evans, she's new to the dance. She already had one chance. I think this will probably be the end of their feud. I mean, maybe they go into the third one, but I think this is kind of how the feud will wrap up. I think Becky Lynch will take on Lacey Evans, and Becky Lynch will win, especially since she went from being Becky 2 belts already losing one. I think she needs a little bit more of a run with this, especially if they want to establish her as a really, really big deal, big-time name. And they should. Yeah, Paul Heyman or Brock. I could see either way. I could see it going Paulie too. I could also see it being both of them. Who knows? Okay, so next up, yay, Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. Repeat from the WrestleMania match. If Dolph will get it only to silence the Dolph should leave feelings and give him a pacifier to keep him from doing a Moxley. If, but I don't even think that'll be the case. But yes, if. Drew with Hell to Shane, Drew McIntyre. Ooh, you guys have hope for Drew McIntyre. I don't. Roman's winning because it's Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns and his KFC greasy. Brock Lesnar, special guest referee. Yeah. Roman Reigns is winning as far as I'm concerned, just because that's what they always do. I would like it if Drew McIntyre is going to win, but they made it very clear that his push has gone to non-existent. So I don't think Drew's getting... And I really thought for a period of time Drew was going to get pushed, but that is clearly not the case. So Roman Reigns is my pick to win. I don't want that to happen, but I think it is. He's going to. And last match, the champion, Bayley versus Alexa Bliss for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Pointing out that a Raw woman is going for the SmackDown Championship, but whatever. This is a weird match, especially considering that these two have a lot to prove because last time they had a feud with the whole Bayley Decision of Life, they were very poorly received. Really poorly received. So, in order to counteract that, I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm pretty sure that they're going to go all out. So I think this match might surprise people because I think they'll want to put on a slightly better match than they can. I don't know how far they can go, but I think they will want to wow the crowd, so I think they're going to try and pull out a little bit more of the stop, all of the stops from this. So where we go? Ooh, Vinny Montaigne says Alexa Bliss with help from Sasha Banks. That'd be interesting if she makes her return just to turn on Bayley. Ross Sanders says Bayley go full on heel. It'd be weird to turn her in the middle of a championship run, especially so early. It does happen. I'm not saying it doesn't. Ben removed his comment, which I was going to read. But Bayley go full heel. I don't see that coming. I don't predict that, shall I say. And it goes... Yes, no, I got you. Bayley is whomping on the 50-year-old blow up. She is not 50. Nice try. Double turn? I don't think so. They've had their opportunity to pull the trigger on Alexa. as a face, and they know she's really good at being a heel. She's so over. I know she's puts them in a difficult spot, but yeah, I'm not sure on that either. You also see Nikki turning on Alexa and joining Bayley. The Nikki and Alexa thing makes no sense to me. I can't stand that matchup. Hey, Dave, you should call Baron Corbin Born Corbin. See, oh, I've done that before. See what I did there? Oh, yeah, absolutely, Ben. I've done that before. Some boring and channel changing he is. What is the biggest regret? Drew? Oh, for me, it's Drew. I'm not the biggest EC3 guy, but Drew McIntyre has a lot of ability that's being underutilized, I think. Sandman style Bayley. Oh, yeah. Remember that was the thing? Okay, Nia Jax comes in. It's okay. What's my pick? I'm going with Bayley. I think the Hugger's taken down. I think they really want to give her an opportunity to be the big time leader that a draw that she's supposed to be, or give her the push that a lot of you that she's supposed to have. Hopefully they do it right. Hopefully getting her to beat Alexa would be a nice feather in cap. If they play the match really well, I would really like them to utilize it where it seems like, oh great, Alexa's going to win again, and people who complain about Alexa winning all the time. Only to Bayley pull out the stops, and I think Alexa is a good foil for that. She's a good, but the only downside is they don't really play women's matches like that. Like with Roman Reigns, we got used to his pattern. We knew his pattern of Superman punch, spear. Like we knew when it was coming, and we started rolling our eyes. But meanwhile, he didn't win all the time, and so it was a good way of using it against us. Same thing with Jay White, not wrestling as well as he's capable of doing, just to get the fans to not like him. There's certain things that you can do, and I think if they play the ring psychology right, if they really make you think that Alexa's going to win, because unfortunately Alexa's win just happened. They don't make sense. But if they let Alexa win in a certain way to make it seem like she's going to win, and we get all upset, it'll work in Bayley's favor. It'll get Bayley over a lot. So I would like to see them try to do that. You know, I'll really try to get Bayley over, especially on Alexa's side, if she can utilize her ability to get to generate heat and get Bayley over. Got some tickets of Midnight Showing of Spider-Man for Rome. Nice. Hope you enjoyed, buddy. So from England, Mortal Remus, Sasha returns to her on Bayley. That wouldn't be bad either. And Charlotte. But then Alexa and Sasha would be interesting. Alexa will turn face because her bio is on the page. Not a bad possibility. All right, guys, I'm going to have to wrap this up. Got to go, but thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the super chats. Hey, Jesus Pharaoh, thank you so much for the super chat. And hey, also, Nuke and MGT, thank you for both of your super chats. You guys are the best. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for being here. And as always, Dave knows.